Hi, I'm Glenn Rodriguez, one of the co-chairs, along with Paul Battaglia, for our Moving Forward in Faith capital campaign. We have a large repair project planned, and I'm here today to explain why it makes sense to do other renovations at the same time we're performing these repairs. We've already posted videos concerning the three main case repair items of lighting, heating and air conditioning, and sound. I invite you to take a look at these videos on our parish website before you watch this video, because it'll give you a better understanding of some of the things that we're going to discuss. We'll start by looking at the worship space. We've addressed the floor as having to be repaired as part of the work around the base of the columns in order to solve the corrosion from the water and the return air ducts that are below the floor. A new floor finish is necessary as a final step to this process. The finish will reflect sound better, it'll be easier to clean, and with a lighter color, it can help improve the lighting in the nave and sanctuary area. The conceptual design also calls for leveling the floor and building up the sanctuary area. In addition to accessibility accommodations, this will enable compliance with current Catholic norms, which dictate that the altar, ambo, and presider chair be the most prominent feature in the worship area. These features will be replaced with permanent installations fabricated from stone or similar material to comply with the norms. Because of the extent of the construction and repair work, we will move the seating in the nave area into the family room in order to conduct Mass while the repairs are ongoing. These chairs will be replaced with pews and kneelers rather than chairs when the work is complete. The chairs were projected for replacement in 2021 at a cost of $76,000, and indeed, they are wearing out. Many of our chairs have had to be repaired, mainly because the legs come loose, such as this one. It makes sense to replace them now as part of this repair. As with the level floor, pews and kneelers are the norm for seating in church within our Catholic faith. The conceptual design also called out for the addition of doors between the nave seating area and the narthex out in the common. The repair videos pointed out how the doors would improve the control of heating and cooling, as well as sound transmission from the narthex area. But there's an additional reason that we needed doors, and that has to do with security. Our experience has been that during public events, not involving a liturgical service, such as the parish fair, a private party out in the family room, or even winter watch, people have used the nave area for eating, sleeping, and also as a play area for running around. Doors will allow us to secure the nave and sanctuary unless it's being used for its intended purpose of liturgical services. The door design is shaping up to be mostly glass with light etching. We are also looking at stained glass options for the wood louvers in the apex area, and also for the windows around the worship space in an effort to avoid distractions from traffic going by. We are evaluating the amount of light that enters a worship space before making this decision. Next, we'll take a quick look at the sacristy area and the vestry. We're in the sacristy now. As I'm sure you realize, this area gets pretty busy prior to Mass between altar servers getting dressed, Mass items being prepped, and folks checking in, such as ushers and liturgical ministers. Such hustle and bustle hardly affords the presider trying to focus on the upcoming liturgy an adequate environment for his thinking and reflecting. We converted a storage area into a vestry in 2019 to provide a quiet, reflective area for Mass celebrants to contemplate upcoming liturgies. Let's take a look at it. This area, being separated from the sacristy by a door, provides a reflective area for Mass celebrants to contemplate upcoming liturgies. We also added storage space for vestments and linens. To complete this space, our project proposes to add a doorway through this wall, which will lead into a restroom area that the celebrant can use. Let's look at the chapel area next. We're in the chapel now. The chapel has been part of the building since it was originally constructed. The layout was reconfigured when we did the office addition in 2000. We proposed a repair project in 2014 to address the heating and air system, which was failing, and also lighting improvements. We decided to hold off on this until we could do an analysis and see what improvements were going to be performed within the worship space area. The reason is because this area has always had a potential to be used as a cry room. But what we discovered is that the sight lines from this room, if you remove the walls, to the sanctuary area just weren't there due to structural components. So the project that we're looking at now is going to address the lighting and the confessional. One of the main aspects of the lighting repair will be to replace the chandelier, which is the original fixture from when the building was first constructed. The lampshades were removed in order to provide more light, and we replaced the incandescent bulbs with LED bulbs to again get more brightness. What we've found is that the screw bases for the LED lights have now broken and pose the risk of shorting out. We do not have adequate lighting for the altar or the ambo area following the reconfiguration in 2000 because it did not address the location of the lighting. The repair for in here on lights will involve a new central light system and also downlighting over the liturgical focal points such as the altar and the ambo. We are now at the confession area, which is just off the chapel. The confessional is original to the construction of the building. However, in keeping with virtus and protecting God's children requirements, all confessionals within the Diocese of Richmond now have to have two entrances, one for the penitent and one for the priest. We will have to add a door either in this hallway or most likely in this wall here. There is one other item that we want to accomplish with the confessional, and that is a long-standing issue of providing better soundproofing. We have always had an issue of people who are waiting for confession in the chapel area being able to hear what people are saying inside the confessional area because the walls just transmit the sound through them. We tried applying an additional layer of sheetrock and soundproofing caulking, but it did not do enough. So we put this in the hands of the architect to provide a better soundproofing for the confessional area. Next, we will move into the family room. There are two main repairs we need to accomplish in the family room: the audiovisual services and the partitions. Let's talk about the audiovisual first. Our family room offers us tremendous flexibility. Everything from a large venue for celebrations to small classroom areas to an extension of our Nave seating area. The audio system, like the worship space, consists of microphones, amplifiers, and speakers, which are mostly wired connections unless the space is configured for large venues. If we need sound for individual classrooms, we require a separate amplifier and speaker system for each room. In either configuration, those sitting near the speakers tend, for lack of other terminology, tend to get blasted out of their seats, as we try and adjust the sound so that folks on the far side of the room can still hear above the noise from the heating and ventilation system and other noises in the room. Any video configurations that we set up require a separate screen, projector, and computer in addition to cables on the floor. When the area is used as an extension of the nave seating area, we have to drop wires from above the ceiling in order to connect a large portable television. These methods are cumbersome to use and not at all effective. Given that the family room is used as an extension of the nave seating, it makes sense to fix our sound system in here when we replace the sound system in the worship area. The proposed fix in the family room starts with installation of ceiling speakers throughout the room, along with wall and floor jack connections that will permit control for each of the individual 5 subdivided rooms separately, or as a single system for large venues. The multiple ceiling speakers will permit sound to be heard without having to turn the volume up to the point where it becomes uncomfortable. The control will be through wall-mounted or handheld devices. The system will also be interconnected into the sound system in the sanctuary for when the family room is used as an extension of the nave seating. TVs will be permanently mounted to convey visual signals. We will also install overhead screens with ceiling-mounted projectors for when the area is being used as a classroom, meeting, or entertainment purposes. The second major repair that we need to do in here is our partitions. As anyone who uses our church realizes, these partitions are set up and collapsed on a regular basis to accommodate the many uses of our family room on a week-to-week basis. They were installed with the Classroom Edition in 2000, but they're wearing out. A number of them can no longer be locked into position since the internal components have fallen off. The lockdown foot, where you can see the light coming through, is supposed to extend along the bottom of every panel. It not only holds the wall in place when someone leans on it, but it also serves to provide a sound barrier. The wall surfacing has become loose on 1 or 2 of these due to the failure of the glue the manufacturer used when they were put together. And finally, most of the doors are held together with strapping as the ends have started to fall off of them. We looked at several types of partitions, but we will most likely settle on something similar to the type we already have because of their durability given the heavy use of this system. The repair solution is to replace the panels and the track system with new wall panels. So that's it for the additional renovations we will perform in conjunction with our Moving Forward in Faith capital campaign. I invite you to view the companion videos, if you haven't seen them, concerning the worship space lighting, sound, and heating and air repair cases. I'm Glenn Rodriguez, and for our pastor, Father Rene, and my co-chair, Paul Battaglia, along with all the other Moving Forward in Faith capital campaign committee members, thanks for showing an interest in our videos. We look forward to working with you in this campaign.